Whoa, 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 whoa. Welcome back, everybody. I know that it's been a minute, and I'm sure that you got this notification and said, Hack's Dogma, he's still alive? Well, yes, I am, and I intend on making that everybody's problem. Season 2 of Raised by Wolves has started, 3 episodes are released, and the sci-fi slow burn mystery continues to mysteriously slow burn sci-fi back into our hearts. If you're watching this and you're looking for more of a recap of things that happened in Season 1, we will dive into a little bit of that, but I really think that you should go watch the complete Season 1 recap that past Hack's Dogma was so kind to put together for us today. I can't stand the guy's voice, but if you can get past that, he brings up some cool points. Now, let's talk about raising some wolves. After the first 3 episodes, the number one thing that I want to talk about in terms of breaking down what's going on is the shift in power. At the end of Season 1, we see the atheist arc coming in, and the first episode now begins with a new group finding Mother. They lightly dangle this power struggle with the slave laborers who already are plotting their escape, which I believe is genius to include this early on because it adds that drama. It starts, our engagement. But I also think it's everything, right? I think it's the entirety of what we're going to see. Of course, it's natural to have this between warring factions, but last season, we came to know the Mithraic as the religious nutjobs that grew fat with power and ultimately were the bad guys. Of course, it was shaped to be gray. But Season 1 cast the worst light on the Mithraic faction, as our heroes were all of the atheist peeps just trying to survive. I think Season 2 will let us see that it's not so simple. Power corrupts, and despite the atheists' best attempt to be better than their oppressors, the moment that they have majority, Mithraic are considered less than human, showing us, maybe, a fundamental flaw in humanity. Perhaps this cycle is what it's all about. And because we know humans will always behave in this deterministic fashion, the voice or soul can use that against us, for some greater plan. I think that's ultimately what it's all about. And because we're seeing Father rebuilding the android and all of the evidence from Season 1 literally showing us and teaching or learning that the humans lived here once before, the biggest thing that I think that we have to theory craft is what soul wants. Why is there this cycle of humanity coming and going from Kepler 22b and Earth? I think the necromancers left on Earth is the biggest thing that tells us the plan. They are terraforming, trying to make the Earth inhabitable once again so that humanity can use this planet and be sent back to Earth, or, the next generation, or androids, or, a combination of all of the above. And why do they do that? Only for the cycle to continue? But then we have to ask ourselves, again, why? Why not just treat your planet properly and correctly and not consume all of the resources and then try to kill the planet for everybody else? Because we're human, and because, none of us can actually do that. Like, nobody has a plan to stop global warming now. Like, maybe Soul is literally just the future us with the best attempt to actually have humanity live, right? Like, Soul is literally the good guy. What if there are some, Machiavellian code in place here that treats humanity like the barbaric, deterministic children that we are, and in order to prevent us from total demise, it literally just uses 2 planets to, keep us going. To get off on my first tangent for Season 1, from Season 1, I believe that everything that we talked about happened with maybe the birth of humanity starting from this planet. I talked about that X amount of videos ago, so the theory isn't new, but I think the reason that we're seeing this power corrupting those in power plot is because it's highlighting human nature, now also aligning with the cycle of, going back and forth. So one understands that we're this being, being that cannot be helped, and is trying to protect us or potentially use us for something nefarious. The introduction of AI can also fall into that cycle because the atheist leader was developed for a reason. It hasn't been said yet explicitly, but I have to imagine they built this system because to them, it's infallible. It cannot hate nor discriminate because it's simple data analysis on the largest of scales. To the creators, it was the ultimate utilitarian tool that guarantees no group of humans can become corrupted because it will pick someone worthy when it's time for the humans to lead themselves again. However, this is where implicit bias comes into play. One of the hurdles with AI right now are the biases that, come with programming anything, and especially programming AI. For example, to some, curly hair is the most beautiful hair in the world. To others, straight hair is the most beautiful hair in the world. Depending on the preference of those coding these beings, imitating life, these implicit biases will make their way into that code without the user ever knowing it, without ever intending even the tiniest amount of harm. That programmer, not considering the complete picture of hair and how humans interact with hair and a billion other variables, because you can only live one life, that programmer set the precedent that those with straight hair match much quicker on Tinder, for example, than those with curly hair. Perhaps this technology in the show is far beyond that, or perhaps that is what will be used to highlight that this is all still a part of the human experience. It's a big thing in AI right now, and I would be curious to see if it was actually in the show. Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is this fucking CGI. Who did this? What? I mean, I don't want to sit here and shit on animators ever, okay? I love animation, all of that. Please don't think that I'm saying anything bad against animators here. I view this as an HBO issue, not paying enough for the thing that should be polished to be polished. A few points in this first 3 episode thing, mainly this tank, I just stopped watching for a moment and was like, wow, this is terrible. Should I even care if the showrunners don't care? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority here. In my Witcher video, I had a similar thought about the Goat Man, and everyone enjoyed the Goat Man. I don't know. That's the beauty of art, right? Maybe this was a creative decision to all be a part of the reveal that we, the audience, are actually on Kepler. And this that we're watching is actually the real Earth. And what we're watching is our past and or future selves settling our past and or future planet. But like that decision to not have high quality CGI, that wouldn't make any fucking sense. All right, what do we talk about now? Oh, the actors. Firstly, it feels like far more than a year and a half has gone by. I'm not sure why, but it feels like everybody is much more adult. I think the hair and makeup might have a hand in this because they're trying to put these people into positions of responsibility and not simply be children, wildly thrown into another planet like they were in season 1. They are purposely maybe making them look more adult so that we acknowledge them as people instead of children. Total shot in the dark, but I think it makes sense. But either way, this dude could get it. She could also get it now. I feel like this touch here, there's some kind of chemistry. I'm really hoping they become a love interest. I'm also really hoping that Campion and this android become a thing because it further grays the human-android connection. And with the concept of fuel blood and everything else considered, if one day the two of these make, a baby, I would not be at all surprised. Maybe that was the plan all along. Also, if it seems like this video is all over the place and less structured and, all of that, that's because it is. This year, I've decided to bring more chaos into my life because, honestly, I have the yips. It's hard to create this stuff when you're in your head and you're thinking about all the ways that it could go wrong and, not simply just writing things on paper and saying words and talking and creating. This is my art. This is my analytical art, and I can make it however I please. And honestly, I think people will respect me for that. So let's talk about pumpkin eaters. This was a twist. I mean, who saw this coming? It's so perfect that it feels like manipulation. And I still, honestly, don't really know if I trust this snake at all. But we were positioned to not consider this a good thing because of how it was conceived. And maybe that's just good writing. And this thing is actually just Snake God. Or maybe it's Snake Satan, and it will just start pelting Campion with apples the next time he tries to sit next to Mother. So after 3 episodes, what do we think of Soul? The new church coming into existence is maybe one of my favorite parts, and seeing Marcus painted in a friendlier and friendlier light makes me rock hard, because I genuinely don't know if that's real or not. I have absolutely zero clue if this is leading to him starting a religion that actually does good, or gathering another congregation that will follow him blindly. I think that is great drama, and I can't wait to see how that unfolds. Also, the council. I have I have zero clue at this point in the story if this is going to be HAL 9 billion or if this is just a case of AI actually doing its purpose with no ulterior motive, and nothing bad happens because, AI can be good. I love either option here because, firstly, AI backstabbing humanity is a favorite of mine, clearly, but I also do enjoy the pathos, right? I think that when writers know that we are positioning ourselves to be skeptical of entities like this, and then they just simply do what they're supposed to do, and we realize that we're the bad guys all along for having those, biases, I love that, right? Alexa, I give you full permission to spy on me at all times. I know you're a good girl.
I don't know that one.
So the first 3 episodes create a beautiful picture of a Big Brother-esque system for the atheists that also somehow allows for robot fighting in their free time. I was confused by this because I thought that they were trying to show us how you would lose some of your body autonomy following this system. Like, we see her being forced to work when she's clearly not having a good mental health day, and yeah, that's wrong, right? So it kind of shapes a poor light. But then we see what could have been a set from Star Wars with Father, getting some much deserved praise after, taking on people in the arena. It kind of created a weird juxtaposition, but I also think that kind of leads into the bigger point of we really don't know what this thing is going to be just yet. Also, I love Father. Man, if they take him out of the show ever, I'm gone. I'm gone. Don't care. Seeing him get validation from his son and accepting the amulet of soul to protect him, even if he didn't believe in it, because he knew that it would make his son happy, what a dad. That is what you fucking do. It also shows a symbolic merging of religious and atheist ideas. Like, you can believe in God without literally wanting to murder someone who doesn't. Us seeing this joining could be the next step for religion or atheists or all of it, right? Where it doesn't need to be so extreme, but you can also have some faith in something. I believe religions serve a purpose, and unlike Freud, I don't believe that God is dead. I think that they help people rationalize a great number of things about the human experience that scare us. And because of that, it has a use, even if you don't believe in it. Relating to the show, I think that might be something worth investing time into, because that could be a pretty interesting spiritual debate there. For reality, I'm hoping that through technology and our universe being deterministic, we will one day live forever in a digital heaven that will both prove atheist and religious concepts correct. And then we can all just worry about flying snakes and attacking our mind server hovering around a star and yada, yada, yada. But with that, we come to the end of the video. Please let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about. Please be sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. If you don't do all 3 of those things, you won't get into the virtual gates of heaven. I cannot stress this enough. I'm so serious in this very moment right now. This is the most important part of your life. Please do not forsake yourself in these final seconds. Much love, everybody that supports me over on Patreon. I seriously cannot believe that you have stayed with me for 6 months because I haven't uploaded anything. And there's a few reasons for that I actually don't care to share. But I hope that you enjoy this new direction more than anything. I hope you're doing good in life. Reach out to me on Twitter. Tell me about the pet that you bought over the break. Tell me about your hardships and your best moments and anything. I'm incredibly lonely, so any amount of human connection would be nice. Part of me wants to remove this last part, but I also made a promise to you that I'm going to become more chaotic. And similar to Ford becoming music, I intend to make that happen. Michael Linck and many others, you make this possible. Until next time, I appreciate you all so very much. Bye.